Good morning, Felecia. How are you?
I am well. Well, the countdown is over, and we
Yes, it is.
finally have the opportunity to have a conversation and get all of the dish and the tea from none other than Miss Jennifer Cole of JennCole Designs. Thank you so much for reaching back and giving us an opportunity to look at what you're doing, to tell us a little bit about what you got going on. We really appreciate it. Mississippi Women in Business is a platform where we want to highlight what women are doing in Mississippi. Not only in Mississippi, but women that were born and raised in Mississippi and that have gone on across the world and doing big things. And so we celebrate you today. We thank you for always answering the call and always willing to have a conversation with us. So for those people that don't know who you are, just give us a little brief background of who you are and tell us some good stuff this morning.
All right. So thank you so much for inviting me to do this interview. For those of you who don't know, I'm Jennifer Cole, the owner and CEO of JennCole Designs here in New York. I'm a fashion wedding gown designer, and you can check me out at www.jenncole.design. I actually have created my own collection and label, and I have a 20-piece collection. I also have gowns that I've just added to the collection, but have not been able to put them on the website because of the coronavirus. But I do custom gowns as well. So if you're out there looking for something that is unusual or you don't want to be looking like everybody else, I'm your girl. So I do custom gowns and made to measures. So I'm working on a whole lot of stuff since I talked to you, Felecia. So a lot of good stuff going on.
Well, that is wonderful. So tell me a little bit about, I've heard you talk about the International Association of Women. So tell me a little bit about their organization and your part in it.
So the International Association of Women, I was actually awarded 2019-2020 influencer with IAW. IAW is one of the largest female networking organizations nationwide. Is actually nationwide, and it's an organization for women, and the rep for that organization is actually Star Jones. So it's a networking platform that connects women with in business with the tools that they need to actually succeed, whether it's dealing with social media. We do a lot of webinars. We do a lot of promoting each other's businesses and just cheering each other on to keep going and be successful.
Amazing. So tell me what you have coming up, since you've, I know we have a lot going on now, and I'm gonna get to the part about how the pandemic has affected your business, but tell me what are some of the things that you have coming up in the future?
So I actually joined with the Wedding Salon, which is a bridal show organization that's here in New York. It's the Wedding Salon. So I will be actually participating in all of the shows for this year. So in February 3rd was the first show I actually showcased my new collection in here in New York at the Metropolitan Pavilion. So, and during that show, I actually gave away a wedding gown. So the Wedding Salon is one of the biggest bridal shows here in New York. So for each show in New York, I'll actually be giving away a wedding gown to some special bride. So I have that coming up. The next show is actually supposed to be Monday. So Monday, we're doing a webinar for brides because that show is actually canceled. The next show will be July the 27th. And then the one after that would be November the 16th. So because of the coronavirus, of course, the show was canceled, but we have more coming up. in July, and then in November.
Okay, so it seems like you have a pretty busy schedule.
Yeah, so also Felecia, well, last year, of course, I'm part of the knot as well. And the knot is actually a part of the wedding salon, a partner of the wedding salon. So last year I was in 6 of the knots magazines, and the spring summer for 2020 has just come out, and I'm also in it. And I'll be in the magazine, of course, 6 times this year as well. Showcasing my dresses. Don't know if y'all can see that, but I'm sure you guys have seen me talking about this on Facebook. And you also saw me post pictures from the wedding salon's bridal showcase. So a lot of exciting stuff going on. I really enjoyed that show. It was almost 900 brides that came through to that show. So it was a very, very good show. So if any brides out there that are getting married, you should definitely check out the wedding salon and their upcoming shows.
Well, too bad I'm not getting married again. Jerry and I'll be celebrating 20 years next week. So is there something that you—
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Other custom designs that you may do for other occasions besides just weddings?
Yeah. So I do a lot of custom formal gowns. I just don't have them on my website. Most of the gowns that the formal gowns, I make them per order. If you see something out there that you really want to get made, or you just want a custom gown to wear to some special event, I can create that, just from a picture or whatever. Yeah.
Okay. So I've heard you talk a lot about Africa. So what's what's the new connection in Africa?
Felecia, I never had a daughter before, but I've adopted me a daughter in Africa. Her name is Aminata. And she reminds me so much of myself. She's just 9 years old. She's been sewing since she was 6 years old.
Oh, wow.
And she's very good. So I just fell in love with her because she reminds me so much of myself when I was that age, and learning to sew from my mom. So her mom sews as well. But I just did a video and posted it on Facebook. She's so adorable. I've become so close to her. Her mom says she talks about me all the time. So she wants me to teach her how to actually design. She said, I'm a little seamstress, but I don't know how to design. So also, this is what I will be working on in Africa with the Taste of Afrika. And the Taste of Afrika is actually a movement where they're actually combining, we're joining together the whole entertainment industry as a whole, with America and with Africa, combining the cultures. So with that being said, I'll be working with the fashion part as director of fashion and modeling. So I'll be working with young girls, training them in modeling and fashion, those who are interested in designing or those that are interested in modeling. And I will actually be training them and planning on doing an annual show every year for them to showcase their work. But this program will also be to teach them to believe in themselves, to succeed, to take their art and craft and train them to actually succeed in life, to lead and rise. Also, to the Taste of Afrika, also we'll be getting ready to do a launch soon as this coronavirus is over and they're able to set a date. So I'll actually be going to Africa, and I'm excited about that. So you have a lot of artists in the entertainment industry like Jack Knight, Jazzo, and Teddy Riley will also be joining in, and they'll be working with artists over there. Actually, just like I said, they will actually be uniting the entertainment industry as a whole. So a whole lot of good stuff going on in Africa, and I'm grateful for that, and looking forward to it.
Well, that sounds like that's going to be really, really exciting. Sounds like it's already exciting. So tell me a little bit about how you are remaining relevant in a time that It appears that it's easy just to sit down and shut your doors. Tell me how you're reinventing yourself and reinventing your business, because there are a lot of small businesses that are having difficulty in this time. So tell me how you are recreating your business so that you can remain in business during this time.
Yeah, and remain sane during this time. So I've been off about 6 weeks now. It's gotten real crazy in New York with the coronavirus. A lot of cases, a lot of deaths. So I think the first 2 weeks, Felecia, last year I didn't get a vacation. So those first 2 weeks I just chilled out. I'm good. And rested. I actually needed the rest because I actually didn't get a vacation last year because my mom was sick. Like the beginning part of the year, and I actually flew to Mississippi like 4 times. So the rest of the year I worked. And so the first couple of weeks I was good, just chilling. I think my son was saying like, Mama, you need to go outside. And I'm like, no, I don't need to go outside. So basically after the first couple of weeks, of course, I started to get bored. And I said, I have to do something, to stay connected. So I actually been, making sure that I creating ads on Facebook. You can't just sit and do nothing, especially if you're in business for yourself. So I worked on my social media. I've been working on my social media, doing a lot of different stuff on my website. Also doing a lot of stuff with Taste of Africa back and forth. Of course, their timing is a little different. So I've been, working towards that, which they actually just did a media release 2 days ago, and it went out. So I was working on that. But also I decided to create my own I moved everything out of my living room and made my own little photo studio because my first show, I actually created a purple collection. Because brides are actually getting away from the traditional, white and ivory gowns. So I wanted to create something different. So I actually have a young lady, and her name is Jalissa, and she's from the Philippines. So I had been tutoring her, or mentoring her as far as sketching. So Jalissa she went to school in Japan. But then she ended up staying in Japan to work because, jobs are very hard to come by in the Philippines. So actually, she hurt her hand working at a resort in Japan, working as a doorman. So she hadn't been sketching for a while, but I had been working with her for like 2 years. So I had a lot of sketches that she did during the time. So I didn't hear from her for a little while. And I was like, let me reach out to Jalissa. So when I reached out to her, she said, oh, Miss Jenn, I hurt my hand. I can't sketch anymore. And I'm like, oh my God. And she sounded so sad because she really, really loves it, but she has to work, to help take care of her family. So after my show in February, for that show, I was going to surprise her. So I actually created a mini purple collection, and I decided to use some of her design. So I went back through some of her sketches, and I picked out 5 dresses. I said, these 5 dresses I'm going to do, and I'm going to surprise Jalissa. So, but then after the bridal show, I actually had a photo shoot scheduled, but I was not able to do it because of the coronavirus. So Jalissa is actually, I had to go ahead and tell her what I did because I wanted her, to see the dresses. So I showed her the pictures from, the bridal show in February, but then I said, I have to get some better pictures of these so she can see it. So I decided to create my own backdrop. So I took some fabric that I had, and I created a full backdrop, and including, for the floor. And I put the dresses on the mannequins, and I took the photo shoot right here at home. So I can't just sit. So if you're at home and you're in business for yourself, you still have to stay in contact with customers. You still have to stay present on social media. So it's a lot of stuff that you could be doing just to keep yourself busy. So that's what I did. The photo shoot came out very good, and Jalissa was very, very excited about it, her and her mom. So just doing little stuff to help. I've been reaching out to help other people, not really just thinking about myself, because I know once everything is back, my stuff will pick back up. So I'm really not too worried about that. But the pandemic has actually, I think, would destroy a lot of businesses, because of a lot of small businesses, especially in New York, because it's very, very bad here. Because I think it's so bad in New York because you got so many people in New York, and the social distancing, at first they didn't take it serious, so it just spread and it spread. But for all of you people out there in other areas, don't just assume that you can't get it because it's not in your area, because you don't know who's walking around and has it. And I promise you don't want to go through what we're going through in New York right now.
Well, I call you're doing your own photo shoot that's making lemonade out of lemons. And so I think when I saw you doing it, I said, well, it would be easy for people that are in business to just stop. But you have to find new ways to do business. And it may be, reinventing what you're doing some kind of way. And I see people that on social media that are reinventing their businesses in all types of ways in order to still remain relevant in a time like this. So we're definitely praying for those small businesses that will have to close their doors. But hopefully this will be a time and an opportunity for us to get back to the basics, write some stuff down, read some stuff. One of the things that I have been telling people that I've come in contact with is that I want to be better in this when I come out of it than when I went through it. And what I mean by that is I'm read. I am going to webinars. I am studying new things that I haven't even thought about doing. So in order for us to just, we have the time now, because we've always had the excuse, I don't have time to do this, and I don't have time to do that. Now we have time. So I want to be better in this when I come out of it. So what are some advice that you would give to those people that are in business, may have just started, because there may have been some people that have just started like January 2020, and here it is, a pandemic. So what's some advice that you would give to those folks that may be thinking about just throwing in the towel?
My advice would be, if you just started, I actually have a friend who just started a business, like I think it was December, she opened up a store. And that's the worst thing, because last year I was actually thinking about opening, doing a showroom, but I thank God that I didn't, because of what's going on now. But if you open a store and you have a storeroom, there is government funding for that. There's grants for that for the small businesses. So don't throw in the towel. You have to reach out and do the research on what they have available for small businesses out there during this time, because they're trying to help everybody. So my thing is, don't give up just because this happened. You just have to be creative and think of ways, even if it's online. Your online presence means everything. Because most people now, we shop online. So your actual storefronts, they're the ones that's going to be hurt the worst. But if you're a small business and you have a storefront, maybe you have to create a website now to actually sell your merchandise. But I wouldn't throw in the towel, but reach out and search for small business grants or small business loans that they actually have out there for people right now with small businesses. Yeah.
Okay, so Ms. Cole, can you tell the viewers during some of your most difficult times, some of the ways that you rose above that?
Well, for everybody that don't know, I'm originally from Mississippi, of course, and I actually owned the first African-American bridal salon in the whole state of Mississippi. I think in Louisiana as well, and Memphis. I was actually the first Black bridal salon there. So I owned the store there for 14 years. And as you grow in business, you actually look for ways to better yourself. So being in Mississippi all my life, it's like I outgrew Mississippi. It's like my mind. I always say when you're in business for yourself, you got to continuously think. So basically, I always wanted to create my own design label. So I would say, even though you're in business, you can't limit yourself to just one area. So I knew to grow, in order for me to grow, and one day I have to retire, and I knew it would not be Mississippi. So I decided to come to New York in 2010 and pursue my dream in fashion design. So I came here and I enrolled in school at the Art Institute of New York. I actually worked during that time. I didn't know where I would find my first job here, but I've worked for some of the best people. I worked for Ralph Lauren. I did work for Calvin Klein. You just have to keep yourself focused. Surround yourself with positive people. So once I came here, that was my goal, was to start my own label, start my own collection. So I actually had to work at other places in order to do that. So I actually took my money and just kept investing in myself. And so in 2018, I actually launched my first bridal collection. And I launched my website. I had a website when I was in Mississippi, but I actually shut it down after I moved to New York. But I launched my website in 2018, and it takes a lot because I'm still doing my marketing and advertising just for JennCole Designs to actually take off, like, you know, Vera Wang or your other wedding gown designers. So last year and this year was my biggest time for marketing. As you know, marketing is very expensive. So if it takes you working on another job to get what you need to get done, then you just have to continue to do whatever is going to work for you. And surround yourself with positive people all the time, and just follow your dream.
So Jennifer, I don't want to get too far off in your business, but I know you said that you left Mississippi in 2010, which was 10 years ago, right? So tell me how old you were then, because, you know, there are a lot of people that say, I'm too old to do this. You know, it's too late for me. So if you don't...
When I left Mississippi, you're making me tell my age, right?
But you're cute.
When I left Mississippi, I was 41 years old, and I came to New York, and I actually enrolled in school at 41 with kids my son's age. I have two sons, so when they went to college, that's when I actually decided, you know, I'm gonna pursue my dream to go to New York, because that's what I always dreamed. I've always dreamed of New York ever since I was 12 years old. Never knowing if I would, you know, end up here, but I ended up here and I don't regret it. But yeah, I was in college, and what's so bad about it is I went to the extreme because I didn't know New York to have the school to put me in school housing here in New York. Sometimes I look back and I say, boy, I must have been really crazy. But those kids were the age of my sons, like 18, 19. Some of them was, you know, right out of high school. And a lot of those kids weren't from here either. So I guess my love for being around people, because I've been working with the public for so long, those kids actually respected me. Those kids would get up and go to church with me here in New York. And because they would be like, Miss Jenn, where you going? And I'm like, okay, I'm going to church. And if those kids needed someone to talk to because they was away from their families as well, me and those kids stuck together. A lot of them I still see go to the church that I go to, but a lot of those kids stuck with me, and we learned New York together because they weren't from here either. And a lot of times they would come to me with their problems, this and that, and I was like, look, I did not come here to be nobody's mom. But I actually enjoy every minute of it. Those kids still respect me. They still reach out to me, even though some of them are not even here anymore.
Yeah.
But I love them to death, and I wouldn't change anything because just the experience to come from Mississippi is just like coming from another country.
Yeah.
So it was a struggle because I didn't know anybody here, not a friend, not a family member, not anything. And I just stayed focused and kept my faith in God, and it brought me this far.
Yeah.
Just like working for Ralph Lauren. Ralph Lauren was one of my favorite designers and was one of my son's favorite designers as well in school. But that was amazing. It was just amazing. And I know that it was nothing but my faith in God because I never applied for a job at Ralph Lauren. They actually called me. So I did some great things since I've been here. And I'm looking forward to 2020 and this coronavirus being over so I can move on into better things as well.
Yeah. Well, this is my last question. I've been reading this book called The Power of Purpose, and I think that's the correct title, but it has something to do with purpose. But it's by Dr. Miles Monroe, and it talks about our purpose and finding our purpose, and the only way that we can find our purpose is through the maker, our maker. And so it says that one of the greatest tragedies in this world is for people to die and not know their purpose. Do you think you're living out your purpose?
I am. So as far as my business and my dream, I guess that's why I feel I'm so in love with Aminata in Ghana, because the way she works. Her mom told me the other day, sent me a message saying she sleeps at the sewing machine. She said sleeping at the sewing machine. And I was like, it reminded me so much of me when I was growing up, because we grew up with a big family. We grew up, growing up poor. But it always just stuck in my head that I could make something better out of what I was doing. So my mom always sold for the public. I don't remember her ever working on a job before. But I guess that I took from her, and I guess my courage or my motivation was my father, because he was never scared of nothing. It's like when I came to New York, people would ask me, Jenn, you're not scared there by yourself? I'm like, scared of what? I'm not scared of nothing. So I was so excited when I finally made it to New York. But I always say that if you got some people who, God gives everybody a gift. You have to learn what your gift is and what you're good at. You have to learn everything about your gift, everything, because God says your gift will always make room. So, and I also say your gift will take you above and beyond. Now, my focus when I came to New York was just New York. I just wanted to get to New York. I just want to be a designer. I never praised the other designers because I look at my stuff. I always look at the red carpet shows, and I'd say, okay, I can actually do better than that. So I always looked at it like that, but I always knew what my gift was. It was sewing. I was never satisfied at anything else but sewing. But you have people who, are dead and gone, and they never knew what their gift was. But when I came to show you that God's word is true, when I came to New York, he took me above and beyond anything I ever would have imagined, because I've been all over the world. The job that I was actually working for as their head tailor, that job has taken me, I'm talking about, to some of the most fancy places, fancy hotels, stuff that I never could afford. I've been to these places that a lot of people may never go in their life, and I went there for free. So when you see me traveling, it's not coming out of my pocket, it's actually paid for. So my goal was just to get to New York. I never would have thought. And when I came to New York, as I told you before, that was my first time ever flying on a plane. Secondly, I didn't know anybody here. But now, because of that, when I walk into one of the hotels in New York or one of the spas or whatever, a lot of the residential buildings, they know me when I come through the door. I mean, that's just how God works. I didn't know anybody here, but now people know me. And they say, okay, here she comes. They know me when I come through the door. So, and to be some of the places like Aruba, Tahiti, the Bahamas, Anguilla. I never knew Anguilla, you know. So I've been to some of the places. I've been to some of the places I never even thought of. So that just goes to show you have to find out what your gift is, and you have to nurture that gift. Yeah. You have to believe in what you can do. I think because of the way that I grew up, I never really was a follower. I always had in my head what I wanted to do. And I know that was my gift because at 12 years old, I could make anything. It's like Aminata. So I can't wait to start working with her because she's going to be great. So I always knew what my gift was, but you got some people that are satisfied working on, you know, a regular job. Like they have no dream, no goals, but God gave everybody a gift, and you just have to pursue it. You just have to keep going. It's a lot of work. You have to be persistent. Keep going. A lot of people look at the finished product like this.
Yeah.
And they assume,
tell us a little bit about what you got going on right there. Tell us a little bit.
This is a couple of dresses from my new purple collection, which I actually named this collection after Jalissa from the Philippines. I named one of these dresses I named this dress after Jalissa. This dress is actually named after Aminata.
Well, you have to find a Felecia dress somewhere.
You're next. But yeah, this dress I actually named after Aminata, the little seamstress in Ghana. So this was part of that collection, but I'm gonna just keep going, and in life, you know, you have the things that you have your bucket list. So Africa has always been on my bucket list, and I have a friend here. Her name is Doris, and for the last couple of years, her and the people that she worked for, they always wanted me to, you know, in August to go to Africa and visit. So I actually met a friend of mine. His name is Victor Lawton, and he's co-founder of the Taste of Africa as well, and owner of Vic Law Productions. So me and him became friends, and that's how I got involved with the Taste of Africa. So I'm grateful for that. And I just can't wait to get, you know, started, and I can't wait to go to Africa, because that's something that was already on my bucket list. And my thing was for JennCole Designs, I always wanted to give back. Of course, you know, in Mississippi, I did a lot of fashion shows, worked with a lot of girls and models. And of course, you know, I used to model my own stuff. Because people would say, Jenn, you only have this in your size. I said, that's because if I don't sell it, I'm going to wear it. So I can't wait to get started on that. But I just advise all small business owners, or those of you who are interested in having your own business. It's a lot of work. It's not just the pretty things that you see or be dressed up or whatever. It's a lot of work, a lot of hard work, and a lot of long hours behind that to actually get to the pretty part that you see. It's not that easy.
Well, Jennifer, I want you to know that I am Mississippi Women in Business is super, super proud of you. We thank God for you. We thank you for every time that you've offered to give your advice. We thank you for just what you're doing. We thank you for representing Mississippi. We thank you for representing African-American women that's doing it. And we appreciate it. Now, I'm going to hold you to that dress situation.
I got you. I got you. Next one, I'm going to name Felecia. Yeah.
We look forward to talking to you again soon, because I feel like, and every time we talk, you know, I think we're going to talk just for a few minutes, but your story is so inspiring and so interesting.
Thank you.
It just moves us from one place to another. And there's people that really need to hear your story. There's a lot of people that don't have the faith to move their gifts or whatever their interest is, it's always something that we see that's holding us back. So it's so inspiring to see somebody that just did it, that just say, forget, what, if I lose, but I'm gonna try anyway. So it's just, your story is just so amazing. And I just want you to know from me that we are so proud of you, and we're so glad that you're from little old Mississippi.
Thank you, Felecia, and I appreciate you always keeping up with what I'm doing. I thank God for all my people in Mississippi. I'm gonna always represent Mississippi because that behind my own motivation, there's a lot of people in Mississippi that, keeps up with me and keep, send me messages or give me a call and just keep me lifted up. To keep me going, because everybody knows it's not easy. It's not easy at all. And especially when you, like me, I'm a single mother. I have my 2 sons. So it was a struggle running a business for 14 years in Mississippi and actually raising my kids by my sons by myself. But I'm grateful because I think my move, like I said before, was good for them, because one works for MJP in Dallas and he's a personal trainer. And then the youngest is here and he actually coaches basketball. And that's what they always love. I always push them to do what you love regardless. You might not make it to the NBA or the NFL, but there's so many jobs in the NBA and NFL. If that's what you love, just follow that and so that you will land something that you're comfortable with, what you love doing.
Well, thank you again. We're going to look forward to talking to you again soon. And one of these days, see, I've never been to New York because honestly, I'm afraid of flying. But
I was too, Felecia, but after I got here, that one flight turned into 1,000 flights for me. Going all over, so I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I give all honor and praise to God for my journey. So eventually, I'm gonna write a book. So
well, we're gonna hold you to that too. Thank you again. We appreciate it, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.
All right. Thank you so much, Felecia.
You're welcome. Love you.
Love you too.
All right.